We are Today's Dental Consulting. We specialize exclusively in helping practices make the most out of open dental software. Whether you're starting a new practice or upgrading from another practice management system, Open Dental is our niche, although we don't have any affiliation or financial ties with either Open Dental or any other third-party vendors. This video is an overview of essential features with some insights into advanced tools to help both the new and experienced users navigate Open Dental more easily. Our goal is to empower you to use Open Dental efficiently so your practice can run smoothly and profitably. One of the key advantages of Open Dental is its intuitive menu structure. All menus are clearly labeled with words, not just icons, which makes it much easier to navigate. Along the left side, you see the different modules, which are similar to modules in other practice management software. Each module has context-sensitive menus across the top. This allows you to more seamlessly work through particular tasks without needing to search for specific tools. So how do we select a patient in Open Dental? Just go right up here to the Select Patient button. Using this, you can select a patient, add a new patient, or even add a family of patients in here. We have Donald selected. We look over here, we even have his picture. You can bring up this Select Patient button from any module in Open Dental. Let's go to the Chart module. The Chart module is where you enter treatment plans and edit your notes. It also stores the medical history down here on the lower left. The chart can have different views. By going to the Show button up here, we can look just at the completed treatment, or we can look at the completed treatment that has notes attached. In this case, I'm just going to look at the treatment plan in here to keep things a little bit easier to understand. So now that we have Donald selected, let's go to the chart. So in this case, let's go to the Missing tab right here. And what we suggest people do initially with a patient is to go in and take out the missing teeth. I'll just select the third molars. I'm going to select across these teeth, and then we're just going to click on Missing. Very easy, very fast. Oops, I missed one. We'll pick that up. So now we have the missing teeth out of there, which is going to make it much easier to enter our treatment. Let's go to Enter Treatment, this tab, okay? And we've got a bunch of modules down here, and each one of those has several user-definable groups of procedures. If we want to enter a composite in the patient's treatment plan, we pick on the tooth, we pick on the surfaces, and then we pick on the material. The material is right here in this TDC, Today's Dental Consulting, frequent category. These are the most frequently used categories that we set up for any particular office. And one of them is composites right up at the top. So I pick the tooth, I pick the surfaces, and now I pick the material, and that procedure code will always be correct in there. How about a crown? Let's go pick number 30. We'll just pick the all porcelain crown, puts it in there, and it also puts the seat in there. What if I wanted to do root canals on this tooth and this tooth? So I've got an anterior, bicuspid, and molar. All I have to do is click on this. Open Dental knows those are different codes depending upon whether it's an anterior, bicuspid, or molar. Make it a little bit more complicated. What if we're going to do an endo, a buildup, and a crown on 3 teeth? All I have to do is go here, endo, buildup, and crown. Boom, it puts them all in there. Now, so I'm going to go to the crown and bridge category right there. I'm going to just select these teeth. I'm going to double abutted all porcelain bridge. And by selecting the teeth and selecting over here, it automatically puts all those procedures in there. It knows the difference between an abutment and a ponic, and it puts the correct codes in every time. On the left-hand side of the chart is the patient medical information summary, pre-Medicate right there. And that pre-medicate is going to show up over here. Pre-medicate, yes. And it's also going to show up in the appointment book. All right, let's double click on this and we can edit these things. Here's the medical problems. Here's the medications. Here's the allergies. And back here is where we have that pre-medicate button. Now, all this information can be imported with a couple of mouse clicks from the web forms in Open Dental, which are free. We've got a lot of treatment in here for Donald, but we didn't put his insurance in yet. So we can go back to the family module and add insurance, clearly labeled there, and say, yes, he's a subscriber, and I don't want any of these. I'm going to pick from a list, a new plan. We suggest you always try to pick from list whenever possible. This is going to limit the duplications in Open Dental and also make it easier for you to track the benefits. So this is the plan I want. Everything's all filled in here. I'm going to go put that fee schedule in there, and I'm going to put Donald's user ID in, and I'm done. Now, when I go to the treatment plan again, okay, it's got the insurance column in here that it didn't have before. It's also showing this is where he's maxing out right here. Now, whenever you make a change in the insurance information, you always want to go to update fees. See the change in there? Okay, and then what we want to do is save the treatment plan. Just click over here, because the saved copy will not change when these procedures are completed. So you have a record of what you told Donald. When I show Donald his total down here, he's a little concerned. He doesn't have that much money, but he thinks maybe he'll just start with the gum treatments. So I'm going to highlight these two guys, and I'm going to just save a segment of the completed treatment plan. So I'm going to go here to save treatment plan. We'll just call this SRP, so we know what it is, and save that. And now I just have part of the whole treatment plan in here. Say, okay, Donald, if we want to proceed with this, then let's go and have you sign it right up here. There's just the SRPs in there. And I can go down here and have Donald sign that, say, okay. And this shows up as signed here, and it automatically also saves in the image module. Here's all my treatment plans. This is the one we just did, and there's his signature. Let's talk just a minute about the image module here. You'll notice we've got lots of information in here. You can store tooth charts, you can store perio charts, you can have images, you can have a lot more than just a single image in there. So this is a catch-all section for any documents or images that you want to save. Now that we've got all this done, let's go back to the appointment book and let's create an appointment for Donald. Now I'm just going to click in here. We can move this appointment later. It says, yep, that's who I want is Donald. And this is going to show the whole treatment plan, all the treatment plan items for Donald. So let's start with the scaling here. We'll pick those two procedures. It's going to estimate the amount of time that's going to take, and I'm going to give the hygienist an hour and a half to do that. It already has selected the hygienist, and this is the provider time for that appointment. So I'm going to say save that. Here's my appointment. Now, if I want to move it to another day, all I do is drag it over to the pin board, and we'll take it to tomorrow, and let's drag it into Betty's column. And it says, do you want to change the provider? Yes, because it knows that Betty is working in that column. So there's my appointment. I'm going to move this appointment back to today, and let's put it back over here. Yes, we're going to change the provider. Let's look at the appointment in there. So now this is not going to be, that is going to be the doctor, and say save that. Now, how do I set this appointment complete? Don't go up to the complete up there. That's a no. Don't right mouse click and go to set complete down here. The way to do it correctly is double click on the appointment, look at the procedures that are in there and say, yes, this is what I did. And as a matter of fact, I also did some fluoride. So I can quick add over here, and that will add that to the appointment, but also add it to the treatment plan. If there's things that are not over here in my quick add, this is user definable, I can go up to the add here and I have all my procedures that are in Open Dental. The procedures are correct, the providers are correct, then I'm going to go here and go to completed. When I say save, it's also going to set the procedures complete and the appointment complete. Let's go look at the dashboard over here for a minute. This is a summary of patient information. We've set one up that we call the paperless routing slip because we tried to replace the paper routing slip with the information that you would typically want on a paper routing slip. So we got lots of information. We can see he's on a 4-month recall. We can see he doesn't have a recall scheduled. We can see when it's due out there. We can see who referred him. So lots of information here. We can also look down here and see he's got this appointment today, so it's in yellow. If he had an appointment in the future, that would be green. So I created a new appointment down here that has an exam and a prophy. I'm going to set this complete the same way. Yes, that's what I did. Change this to completed, save. And now what I wanted to show you is the Make Recall button. This is the recall scheduler's BFF. All right, if I click on this, it's going to jump out into the future, in this case, 4 months, because he is a perio maintenance recall. And it's going to put the procedures in there automatically that he will be due for at that appointment. So I didn't have to add any procedures in there. It knows automatically. It also knows these available times out here, which are past 4 months, which is his recall interval. So once I pick a day in here, then I can just drag it over here to Tina, and there the appointment's made. That easy. The Make Recall button is absolutely the scheduler's best friend. So Donald wants to make a payment today. How are we going to do that? We're going to go here to the account module, and we're going to click on this payment right up here. Open Dental has a little bit different way of allocating payments than you may be used to. Open Dental wants to try to allocate each payment to a specific procedure and to a specific provider. You can change some of these things, but our suggestion is you go with the standard default setup. So I'm going to go to Setup up here. I'm going to go to Account, and then I'm going to go to Allocations. And just click on the default if it's not already clicked. That's going to be the easiest thing for most people over the long run. When I go back here to make a payment, okay, I can put any payment amount I want in here. I prefer this patient. And now we get this kind of complicated screen. What it's trying to do is allocate that payment to these correct procedures over here, or to part of the procedures. So I'm just going to say, okay, save that. And now it recorded that payment and it tied them to the specific procedures based on the first in, first out. There are other ways to allocate payments, but it's beyond the scope of this video. So in the account module, and again, we're just clicking around in the modules, this is a history of all the patient transactions. One advantage of Open Dental is you can look at individual patients within that entire family module. So it makes it easier to track things like outstanding insurance and so forth. Here we'll just go to Donald. So we've looked at all these other modules. Let's go down here to the Manage module. The Manage module is where you're going to do your insurance billing, your patient billing, and do your deposit slips that we'll come back to. When I'm in the Manage module, I can click on Send Claims up here, and here's a list of my claims that are pending, ready to be sent. And all I have to do is go to Send Claims right there. I can also go up here and run a report for procedures not billed to insurance. And this is something we suggest you do every single morning. And then with one click, I can bill all those procedures. If we were going to bill the patients, we would go to our billing tab down here, And this can be set up with lots of different criteria in here, and also set up so it will send out email statements rather than printed statements. And emails in Open Dental are free. While we're in the Manage module, let's go to ERA. If we go into this little icon up here, because I don't have any ERAs in here, but if I want more information, and this little icon is available on virtually every screen in Open Dental. So I'm in ERAs, I click on that, it takes me to that part of the user's manual that's specific to ERAs. And this is something that everybody should look at. Here's a video in here. ERAs are much more accurate and much easier and faster to do than conventional posting of insurance claims. I think every single dental practice should be using ERAs, but most dental practices don't even know they exist. Let's go to Reports. That's right up here. Click on that, and we'll go to the standard reports. Now, Open Dental's got a whole bunch of standard reports in there, and they also have a lot of user queries that are customized reports. There are no required reports. We have a couple reports that we think you should do on a daily basis. One of them I alluded to before when we were back over in billing, and I said to do deposit slips. So deposit slips are going to make sure that all your payments actually get to the bank. The other report that we think you should run on a daily basis is, if I go up to my reports again and standard, is go down here to procedures, and we call this the What I Did Today report. So it's going to default to today, but I only want to do it for one provider at a time. I'm going to click this provider and run the report, and there's all the procedures that provider did today. Each provider should check his or her sheet in here to make sure that everybody's on there and these procedures are correct. If there's a mistake, they need to go back into Open Dental, fix the mistake, and then come back and print this. So here's the print up here. I'm going to print it on a piece of paper, initial it, and turn it into the front desk. This is a guarantee of accuracy when you go in the next day to do your insurance claims. You can also do a whole bunch of different reports in here. What I did today, what I did yesterday. I can go down here, I can see my outstanding insurance claims, my procedures not billed. So there's lots and lots of useful reports, but they are not mandatory to run. Let's talk about patient communication. Here's Donald Duck, and I want to send him an email. Oh, here's my emails. Now I can set up email templates over here, or I can just go in and type an email. If we go to this email template, shows when his next appointment is, and down at the bottom, it's got a link to his new patient forms to fill out and send back. That's just an example of an email template. I can also text Donald. If I just go up to text here, I've got an empty text box, but I can type anything I want in there. I can also text from within the appointment book. So if I right mouse click and go down to send text, same thing, takes me to the same screen. The nice thing is that Open Dental keeps a copy in the patient's chart of all the texts and all the emails that you've sent. So you don't have to go to a different website to find out how you've communicated with the patient. So in summary, getting started with Open Dental is very straightforward. But today's dental consulting can make the transition smoother. We can customize workflows and teach advanced features to help your office increase productivity and profitability. Again, we work with both new and experienced practices and new and experienced users. If you'd like a free consultation to discuss how today's dental consulting can help your office, visit our website at todaysdentalconsulting.com and click on the self-scheduling link at the top, or you can click on the link in the description below this video.